What's going on? We are back for another Mon Wan Monday stream. It is March 25th. We're talking about Survivor 46, episode 4, which was called Don't Touch the Oven. Um, I, I know we've been saying we have not been very high on this show, so I'm excited to hear if anybody's opinion has changed after our latest episode or if we're still feeling the same. So let's kick this off and get into all of it. All right. My name, of course, is John W. Hussein, standing my queen, Jem. And I'm joined, as always, by my fellow tribe mates, Mr. Kyle Petty and Miss Gina Morgino. Sadly, we are without our buddy, our pal, Mr. Mikey Mormon. He's, living that tour life and unfortunately is unavailable tonight. Hopefully he'll be back with us. Yeah, I know, right? He's doing these big
Better
things.
things to do.
So hopefully he'll be back next week, right? He didn't say anything otherwise. So if you're wondering where Mikey is, don't worry, he'll be back. But you can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We're your favorite reality TV podcast, Strat Chat. Find us on the socials, Oh, sorry, I just got so distracted for a second.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. But yeah. Find us on the socials and, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, places like that. Leave us a nice review. Okay, let's get into this episode. The last time that we were here, Mikey was taking his third hit in a row due to a medical emergency. But this week, Mikey was spared. He was spared. He did not lose his final team member.
Yeah, he's not even here to celebrate his first victory.
Yeah. The first hit of Team Petty was taken, but I don't think he's that upset about it. What are you thinking, Kyle?
Not at all. Goodbye. I have no problem with this at all. He was really detracting from my interest in this season altogether. Yeah, I'm tired of the crying. I'm tired of the begging. Please help me. Please help me. It's like, what is going on? Like, I don't want to see this anymore. And it even made me think that, like, is this how this whole season is going to be edited, like this poorly? Because I don't need 90 minutes if this is what I'm getting. Like in Australia, we got 90 minutes of game play. You might have had your silly reward banter and you had like some other little funny segments, but it was never like this. And
right.
I mean, do you think that that's also, is it partly because there's not a lot of game being played because it's so early? Like, I don't know what to think of it.
I'm hoping that's going to change now because it's funny. I've seen a lot of people on like social media or what have you saying like they're upset that Banu was the one that left because Banu was good TV and he's chaotic and he's so funny and he's so fun. And it's like, I get it too.
I don't see how he's good TV at all.
But it's like, I get that like those chaotic characters being like, you want to tune in to be like, what the hell are they going to do this time? Like, I get why in some ways that's good TV. But in this situation, it's just like draining almost. Like I'm exhausted when I watch Banu.
Banu was never bringing the type of chaos that I like. And just as an example, this is not the type of chaotic entertainment that I find compelling. Watch.
You need to help me, Tiff. Please.
No, please, Bonnie.
Please,
no.
Tiff.
Get up off your knees. What the hell are you doing? Bonnie, bro, please.
Tiff, you need to help me.
Get up. First of all, I'm not going to talk to you if you're on your knees. I'm not going to do that.
Like, what are you doing?
And it's not the first time he's done that either.
No, and this is exactly what I was referencing when I was going on about Banu before, like this, the begging and the pleading, like to help.
It's a lot.
It's so uncomfortable. All I can imagine is like, what if I were Tiff in that moment? And you're looking at this person, I think I would just walk away. Like she was still even better than I would have handled this. Like saying, like, I'm not going to talk to you if you're on your knees like this. I would have just walked away. Like you're making me really uncomfortable. Like I had to go. Like. No, this is not the kind of chaos that I find enjoyable. Like,
and then it's like, we not to jump around, which we do it anyway, but like we have like that moment where, Q is helping him, which you know, fine. If you think that that's beneficial to you to help Banu be a better Survivor player, you do you. I don't see how that's beneficial at all, but whatever. But then, like, he's begging Kenzie to help him, and Kenzie is like, can you just, like, get out of my face for 5 seconds? And now all of a sudden Kenzie is the bad guy, but it's like,
right.
Why do I have to teach you how to play the game that I'm trying to win for me? Why is it my responsibility to make you be better at a game that I want to win? Like, I don't see how he expects everybody to, like, coddle him and help him be a better player when, like, the game is to be the best player. Why would I make you better when I can be better than you? Like, this is not the game.
I just like the coaching sessions with Q really got me too, honestly, because it was like, because we kept hearing from Banu, right, that he's a super fan. He's seen every season, and to just be so helpless in this game, like, because in my mind, like, sharing the information that he shared on the journey, the way he did it, because he had a breakdown, right, with even in that moment with Liz, and who was there with him? Liz and I think it was Liz, right?
Was it Tevin? No. Yes? No.
I don't
Wasn't it Ben?
I really don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember it all now. But whoever it was.
No, Ben sounds right, because Ben was also doing the puzzle. Ben is right. Ben sounds right.
Okay, so maybe it was. Maybe I'm wrong on Liz. Who knows? Banu went on a journey with 2 people.
No, Liz was there. Liz was definitely there.
Okay, then it was Liz and Ben.
All right, so Liz and Ben.
Yikes.
I know.
Not a good start for us.
I will say we did just also get finishing Australian Survivor 3 episodes a week, talking to the winner. If you haven't seen us talking to the winner of Australian Survivor, check that out, by the way, our YouTube page. So Banu went on this journey. He spilled this information. The way he did it was embarrassing, with him breaking down and everything. But what he did wasn't necessarily bad for his game. The thing that was bad was telling Tiffany and Q that he had shared that information. If he had never done that,
why would you tell him
that? He might have been okay here. Like, and I can't believe that he didn't think that, like, sharing information on a journey and trying to get information is good. But now don't go and tell the tribe, members that.
It immediately makes you a liability to know that, like, anything that's happening here is now everybody's business.
Right. You were the only one that had made any sort of connection for the time that merge had come with other tribes.
Right.
And no one else on your tribe would have had to even known that until we got to merge, potentially, where you might have other allies that you can work with now. Like, he was just a mess from start to finish.
And it was disheartening to see, because he kept going on and on about how he was a super fan. So I already expected a little bit more from you, because you told me that you've watched every single episode. So, like, at what point did you ever see anyone behave this way? Where did you get this from? Like, even if you
what did you pick up when you were watching? Like, if you knew you were going to be on the show, you would think you're, like, studying a little bit of, like, oh, this is what a good social game looks like.
Right. Even if your emotions are pushing you to a point where you feel like you may want to behave this way, the super fan in you didn't say, hey, I got to hold this together. I got to do a little better than this. No, it's like, please help me. I don't even know what I'm doing. And it's like, what? It's not that you struggled to do what you thought you needed to do. Like, you didn't know what to do. How is that possible?
Right.
You have no plan at all. Nothing.
Right. And, like, what's funny to me too is that he, all throughout the episode, throughout the whole season, and then even right up until Tribal Council, in Tribal Council itself, like, he kept saying, like, I wanted to play an honest game. That's why I told Tiff and Q. And it's like, not telling them what you shared on the journey is different than lying. You can still play an honest game like you want to without sharing unnecessary information.
Yeah.
See, my mother would contest that, and she would say, well, that's lying by omission. If somebody asks you a question and you don't tell them the full truth.
You're not lying. You just didn't tell them everything.
Exactly. That's that. I agree with that.
You didn't actively say the wrong
I agree
thing.
with both of you. I'm just offering that devil's advocate opinion that I like to do.
Right.
Sorry, and I did tell you the truth. It just wasn't all of it.
It just wasn't all of it.
Yeah.
And I do agree with you too. But I do think even in this situation, what makes it worse for Banu is that I don't think that he was like at this point being questioned by it anymore. It was him going up to Tiff and Q, and I think
volunteering it.
I think and I think he even started it by saying like he didn't even approach the conversation in a way that might have worked out better for him. Like I think he literally started off by saying like, I think I said something wrong. Like that's how he started. Like that's
even that approach, I'm like, oh, I don't even care. Goodbye. I care just for the drama of it, but like you'd have to catch me in a good mood. And I don't know, 8 days sans food. I don't imagine there's a good mood in sight.
But it's, even like what you were saying earlier, like there are ways in which I can see like, okay, I have like a baseline understanding of how I should go in playing this game, but given this dynamic and these people, I'm having trouble and need you to help me kind of navigate it a little. Like I get that. We even saw last season, Caleb kind of coaching Emily a little bit in the beginning of the game and being like, hey, you're going about it this way. Maybe we need to do things a little bit this way. And Emily kind of like taking the notes and now navigating a little bit differently. I get that. But the things that Banu needed to be coached on were such like base level. Okay, so if Jeff says who do you have good relationships with, what do you say? Oh, I don't know. I have a good relationship with this person, but they're closer with it. No, shh. If Jeff says, how are your relationships? What do you say? I'm good with everybody. Very good. It's like, how is that? Like, I don't understand how like the most basic elements of this are
so ridiculous. And this is also to bookend what I said before. This is not what I want to see in my 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. Go back to an hour and leave this on the cutting room floor then. Mm-hmm. Because like this sucks.
Like if this episode is going to end with Yanu losing and Banu going home anyway, I really don't need to see him repeatedly going like, yeah, we're all vibing together. We're vibing. Things are good. Like, I don't need to see.
Right, because that's not our path forward. I'm not actually going to get to see any of the fruits from this labor. So instead, it should have been an announcement. Hey, guess what? Special event, Survivor 60 minutes this week.
But when you think about it, it was actually longer than that because the last 2 episodes were essentially the same episode. Because no one went home last week. Yeah. It was going to be Banu, and then it wasn't. And then we just did the same episode again.
Right. And I think, you know what? And that's a good point to mention also, because like maybe that is also adding to my just total exasperation towards like Banu in this situation, because I essentially actually saw like what is that? 180 minutes of this mess.
The other thing that's so frustrating is like we saw last episode, there was that whole thing of him like praying for a miracle. I need something. I don't want to go home right now. Like I just need something to change. I'm praying for a miracle. And then he got one and he didn't go home and did nothing with it.
Yep, and then challenged God. Had the nerve to challenge God.
Continued to drive his game into the ground, and then by the end of the episode, was praying for more miracles. And it's like, my guy, you got the wild, praying crazy for more miracles, second chance.
And then also yelling at God, saying, "If I was only going to go out at this point, why did you even put me in here?" It's like,
and like that too. Like someone was going to go this week, whether it was you or somebody else. Like somebody goes home early. That's how the game works. Someone goes home every episode. But it's like
essentially, none of it is his fault.
Very, very rarely does someone get saved in a way that like, oops, there was a medevac and now no one goes home. That's a crazy coincidence that now you were saved from. Right. Take that and be like, shit, I got this second chance. I got the miracle I was hoping for. What do I now do with this to like make sure that the next time we go to tribal, I'm not in the same position? Nothing.
If he hadn't spilled all that to Q and Tiffany, it could have been Kenzie going home. There was a chance. Tiffany was considering because Q was on board.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too.
Considering it, so
I did not think that Tiffany would be that quick to consider it. It doesn't surprise me that she did because I think she's smart enough for that. But it seemed like she was turning a little faster, a little easier than I thought. I thought there'd be a little bit more of a pushback there, but she's like, I don't know.
Especially
because
like
doesn't make sense. It's like easy, whoa.
Especially because like trusting or not trusting, like Banu was kind of shit in the bed of the challenges too. Like he wasn't exactly like he's the reason why they lost this immunity challenge.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, Banu. Yeah. So Banu leaves. We didn't even have a vote.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a vote.
Which there was a lot of discourse about that too on socials.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw.
I could see why. Because like who knows? People could have just been saying whatever they say at tribal and then act something different when they actually got to vote.
Mm.
Who's to say?
And a
We
lot of
see
people
so
are saying
many
too,
lies at tribal.
a lot of people were saying too, like by just skipping the vote and just like going straight to it, you are now like, if people do have like these strategies that they're trying to like blindside you at the end, now you're getting tipped off of like what people's strategies are by not going through the voting process. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem. I didn't give it that much thought. I knew I didn't like it, but I didn't really think about the reason why.
There's been a lot of like people
and
on Twitter
that
being
makes
pissy
good
about
sense
it.
to me. Yeah, I back it.
Banu. He didn't even have, so they didn't vote for him to leave. He didn't have a vote, so he had no ability to play Shot in the Dark or anything like that.
What a way to go out too, though.
Yeah.
As a super fan, you just go out with your hands tied behind your back. You have no say whatsoever. Literally just sitting there.
Again,
It's not even like if you wanted a revolution, you couldn't even try to force a 2-2. Like you've got no say.
And then it's like, in that sense, I can't even really blame Banu for that, because like this is, in my opinion, a problem with our Survivor being so reliant on the twists. And what are we going to do to shake up the game? So now somebody from another tribe forces Banu to go on a journey he did not volunteer to go on. Then he goes on the journey, and because he drew the wrong rock, he is now forced to participate in this puzzle where you either get the puzzle or you completely lose your vote. Lost his vote, had no agency in that decision, now is going through the rest of the game with no agency in what's going to happen at this tribal. And granted, yeah, somebody with a better social game and a better understanding of how to manipulate things and kind of turn things around might have been able to get through that unscathed. But he had no chance going into this. Like, he had nothing. He had no vote, and because he had no vote, couldn't even play a Shot in the Dark. He had literally no chance. Kyle?
No, I saw that I took a breath the same time John was.
Yeah.
I was going to let him go. Go ahead. You go first, John.
No, I just like, obviously we've all talked a lot about how we hate how people's, frequently people's votes get taken away, or that they get taken away at all. I think it's stupid just in general. But I also was wondering, because I know that the Shot in the Dark, which sucks also, it never works. It's worked one time, really. That was, exciting. But also, like, I know it's a 1 in 6 shot if you do get to play the Shot in the Dark. But right now, there's 4 members in Yanu. Like, would you like the Shot in the Dark better at all if it, like, reflected the number of people that were in it? If it was a 1 in 4 chance that maybe, if Banu's, let's say his vote hadn't been taken away and it was maybe a better shot that the Shot in the Dark could work and maybe shake it up, would that help Shot in the Dark at all as, sort of a twist? I don't know.
I think I would like Shot in the Dark a lot more if it was something smaller, and I don't necessarily think that is contingent upon the remaining members in the tribe. I don't think I care when it's presented. If it was a 1 in 3, that's a real Shot in the Dark. So Shot in the Dark for
we've
everyone.
seen that thing where it's like whatever. Like, there was one like final tribal or like something like that where like it got like later in the game where there was like those 3 things, and like 1 was a skull and 2 were like something at like whatever it was, like that kind of situation. I don't remember what that was called.
I think it was like James
Do or
did that,
Die
right?
or something.
Something like that.
I think that was like, wasn't that James Jones?
Maybe.
Could have been.
It was like seasons ago.
And LaShawn, now, what's his name? Oh, this is terrible. But yes. No, you know what? If Shot in the Dark had better odds of hitting it, then that's more exciting. Even 1 in 4. But the 1 in 6, it's like chances are you're not hitting it. So who cares? Like, is that
We've
really
seen it played how many times, and literally only once was it fun.
Yeah. I think the only other thing that I think is worth mentioning, though, to kind of double back a little bit, because I didn't know we were going to move so far off of Banu, but like, do you think it's also possible that, because I definitely did forget that he didn't have a vote. I didn't always remember that because that wasn't a central thing in the way this thing was, narrated and edited, not until at least the end. But it's like, do you think that maybe that's what prompted a lot of like, can you help me kind of conversations? Because he knew he didn't have any agency. Was it really as pathetic as it seems? Now remembering that he really wasn't in a position to shift anything. He almost does have to beg because like he has nothing to offer. It actually makes it almost makes me understand it a little bit more. I don't ever want to watch it again. I don't want to. I don't want to.
It's so hard because like when we say this all the time, you never know what's the edit and what's the people, because like they really made it seem like he was like, please help me learn how to be a good social player.
Right, and that may have been part of it, but maybe he was also trying to appear malleable. Teach me something. I'm on your side. You know, I'm somebody that you can always rely on to have a number in me. You can trust me. Could that have been some hidden strategy?
I just feel like by the time we got to the end with the begging, it just felt like it was just more of the same. Like it felt like that's what he's always been doing. Like so it didn't feel like a change to me. Like it felt like he's always been kind of begging for help. Help, you know, it feels like this has been going on for a couple episodes now. So I feel like it's not like this is the first time we saw him where like suddenly he's got, you know, in this spot where he's, you know, up against the wall here. Like, I don't know. It didn't feel like it was like a shift at all to me. It just felt like more of the same. That's why I just, doesn't really move me.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I don't really have a strong feeling one way or the other. I just, that was now a thought that I had. Like when you talk about not having any agency, you can't even force a 2-2. So if you don't get two people on your side, two people who you already know of the three, I mean, everyone is kind of working against you. You're going into these conversations knowing that, God,
and being told straight up, like, I am writing your name down at Tribal.
Yeah,
like, told straight up.
Exactly. Nobody's making any bones about it. Like you know, it's you. So yeah. What do you do?
Yeah. But yes. So yeah, we really talked a lot about Yanu's struggles and Banu exiting the game. We just spent about 20 minutes talking about Banu being voted out. No, I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I figured since we, you know, talked about how the episode ended, we could talk about how we got there, because there were some interesting things that happened.
Okay, remind us of things.
Yes. So while the episode ended with a 4th straight immunity challenge loss from Yanu and them losing their 3rd member, it actually started off okay for them in this episode, because we had our reward challenge, our first separate reward challenge. And for the first time all season, Yanu actually dominated. Like they were actually done with this whole challenge before either other tribe had even gotten to that last section. So in this one, what was this? They started off in the water, right? They had to paddle a boat, get to the shore. They had to each get a ring off of this large pole and then dig under sand underneath this rolling pin, and now get these 4 rings that they had all gotten off of the larger pole earlier onto another large pole on the other side of the sand. So the winner of this would get 10 fish. Second place finisher would get 5 fish. Yanu, as we said, won. Nami came in second. Basically, all thanks to Hunter. And Maria had some troubles in this reward challenge. So Siga took their first loss of the season, didn't get anything. Yanu, even when they win, they still lose because they weren't able to.
This is why I was laughing the whole time. Oh, the irony of this.
I know. They still what, 8-9 days in, they still don't have their flint. They still haven't made fire.
And 10 fish for 4 people. They would have been eating so well.
That would have been a feast.
Yes. Oh my God. Poor guy.
So instead, they took a tarp and a toolkit. Which is good.
It is.
Like, it's good, but also I would be livid if I had the opportunity to win all that food and I couldn't.
Right. It's not even like they got the second reward. It's like 5. Okay, all right. I mean, it still stings. Still definitely stings. And that means they would have gotten the smaller toolkit and may not have gotten the tarp, right? I think the tarp was only part of the first one, if I remember correctly. But it still worked out in their favor. They got the largest of the options, but damn, for that to be what you gave up, that's a stinger.
Yeah,
that is a stinger.
Right, because all the tribes, like they saw in the tree mail, right? They could tell that it was going to be like a food reward.
Yeah, they
challenge.
went into this thinking we're going to eat tonight.
Right.
Although maybe they didn't, because they did make that comment on the beach. I think Q had said it, like, we got to trade. Whatever it is, we have to trade.
Well, yeah.
Somebody did say that.
Although I guess I wonder,
what food could they have eaten?
Right, like it would have to be something prepared, which I feel like happens a lot more in Australian Survivor, that they get like already prepared food. It seems like in our version, it's stuff that you gotta cook yourself.
I mean, like they go to the sanctuary, but that's usually not like its own separate food challenge. I feel like isn't that usually part of the immunity challenge?
I feel like they will do that a lot for like individual immunity challenges later on, right? Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but so yeah. I think the biggest thing for me at the time, before knowing how the episode ended, this felt more than anything like maybe a bit of a confidence boost for Yanu. Like they got lucky that no one else was voted out at the last tribal council, even though they had lost the last immunity challenge because of the fact that Randon had to leave. Now they win that first reward challenge after that. I felt like, all right, maybe our luck is starting to turn around, So that's, for me, that was the biggest thing that I was looking at for Yanu. And that's where we saw a lot of the coaching start too. Because it was like, I feel like all of a sudden they were thinking, oh boy, like if we're going to have to keep Banu around, we're going to have to have him figure out how to play this game that he's apparently watched for 20 something years. But yeah, so Nami coming in second, they did get to have their food. They got 5 fish. And, I will say, I know the family segments and stuff are not always the favorite around here, but I did actually enjoy this moment that we got to see with Tevin, where he was like preparing the fish before they cooked them, because I felt like the reason this was cool, and like, not that these aren't powerful stories, but like when you have somebody that's just like talking about how, maybe they lost somebody in their life or something, and so they're playing for that person and they really want to do well for that person. And like I said, those are powerful stories. But for me, I felt like this Tevin one was different because it was like the first time that he was doing this without his father, since his father had passed away. And it was like a skill that he had learned that he was specifically using on the show. You know what I mean? So it was like, I felt like that made it more special in a way also. I don't know. So I like that for Tevin,
I completely agree. I actually found this moment to be very heartwarming.
Wow.
No, wow. Just let me just remind you that it's not that I have a problem with family. I don't dig the family letters and the videos of people we just haven't seen in 3 weeks. Relax. All right. I've been on vacation longer, like just calm down.
Yeah.
If your parents ever move away from you and you don't live in the same state, that's life. Like that doesn't resonate with me at all. But this was special, because you're actually getting to know him. I'm not seeing you cry for 2 minutes and ask how Sally's doing back home. Like this was real, and this is what made this something memorable for him. And any one of us who has lost a family member this resonates with us. No, this kind of family segment I'm totally on board for.
Yeah.
And also only last 90 seconds.
No, I like the ones that like
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I had hit the button. I had hit the button already, Gina. I'm sorry. Anytime Kyle, I'm always hoping that Kyle will end whatever he's saying about families with like a negative sentence so that I can play that immediately after. So like, I just had to make sure I got that in. That's all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah.
But I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
Well, before I was rudely interrupted, I was going to say, I really like the moments like this where you get insight into like why people are the way that they are, you know? Like, it's not even so much just like any of like the background stories. I like when it's like, this is my origin story. This is what brought me to this point. This is why I do things this way. Like, I like getting to know people through these segments.
Yeah. You're expecting me to feel something because this person misses this person they haven't seen in 3 weeks. That doesn't mean anything to me. This kind of a story is like, okay, thank you. This is worth it. I get this, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to also, I wanted to ask you what you guys thought about this. We had some like music time over at Nami, you know. It seemed like they were getting along before the reward challenge. Everything seemed good. We had Tevin and Soda doing their thing. I checked.
On your feet, if you want to eat. Yes. I'm in the mood to win some food. And that's what Nami is gonna do.
So we had that song. And yeah, then they got their fish, and it seemed like things were good at Nami. You know, they lost Brandon, but for the most part, things have been going pretty well for Nami. But then we found
Soda
out
has to be a theater girl, though, right? She is.
She must be.
Right,
Because that is something
that's some shit that we do all the time.
That's something that we would do. Like, we just did that in the group chat.
Yeah, truly, that moment happened, and I was like, I love her so much.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm back on the Soda tip. Because, you know, she was losing me a little bit with the stealing of the idol and all that stuff. I didn't always like that. I know we didn't get to the immunity challenge. Did you see what happened to Idol this time?
Venus handed it right to Soda.
Yeah, Venus gave it to her. I rewound it so I could check because Soda did stand there like, and I was like, girl, how'd you get that? And I rewound, and I was like,
I missed it.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Yeah.
Well, Venus doesn't have Brandon anymore, so she's got to hand it.
She's got to make some friends. Here you go. Yeah. Here you go to Idol. I'm so sorry.
But I will say, could Soda be in trouble? Because apparently Tevin has noticed that she has been going around and getting in people's ear. She is clearly a social butterfly and knows how to get along with people. And it was interesting because Hunter was very happy to hear Tevin mentioning this, because apparently Hunter has been wanting Soda out for a while. He wants to be the closest person to Tevin and have Tevin all to himself. So they've already apparently had a conversation with Liz about this. Liz seems to be on board, said that Soda, she feels, is the one to beat. We know that Tevin feels like Soda's got to go to. And Venus at this point was hoping to work with Brandon and lost him. So, you know, she'd be on board. Could Soda be in danger here?
I'm starting to believe so. I've got 2 potential puns that we can use.
Oh, no.
So obviously the Soda could be fizzling, right? But better than that, because she likes music, she likes singing. So is this Soda going flat?
So proud. So proud.
I'm so proud. Like, I could just leave the chat right now. Like, I'm done. Thank you.
Like, it's been a great season. I've contributed. All
my work here is done. Is this Soda going flat? She could be. She could be. I do think she has troubles because, at least from what the edit showed us, it looked like Soda and Tevin had what was the closest relationship, I think, for her. We know that Tevin kind of has Hunter, but I don't really see anyone while Soda has been making her rounds. I don't really see her. I wanted to find a metaphor there or a stupid pun, but I couldn't find one. So I don't see her really as close with anyone else.
Yeah.
They all seem to be kind of like the beginnings of something that could be, but I don't see any one of those people being upset that she became the vote.
Right.
It's hard too, because like I feel like one of the things that we heard, I think it was Tevin saying, was like she's playing a little bit too hard too fast. And like we're just like not there in the game yet. And it's hard because we always talk about how, especially we see this all the time in the 3-tribe format, one tribe gets wrecked and goes to every tribal. And then it's like halfway through the season before half of these people even see a tribal and they don't know how to act. Like they don't know what to do. They don't know how to game. They don't know how to like
They have essentially haven't played.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, is Soda playing too hard too fast, or is the rest of her tribe just not playing yet because they haven't been to tribal? Like it's a hard line
Is
to
this
toe.
is this the appropriate amount of playing one must do if you haven't been to tribal yet?
Yeah, it's a really hard line to toe because otherwise, like if she's doing this, so I have hope that like down the line when she finally sees a tribal, she's going to be a little prepared. Where like the rest of them could be like fish out of water because they haven't known that they have to play in that way because they haven't had to yet.
Yeah.
Just a lot of suppositories.
I'm confident that wasn't the word you were looking for, but we're gonna go past it.
Suppositories.
Supposables.
Better.
I also Soda could be in trouble. I'm also wondering about Hunter here though, because I gotta tell you, Hunter is just so good at everything.
Sorry, Kyle's down for the count for a minute. We gotta give him a second.
I know. Well, we have to keep going. We can't just sit here laughing. So, Hunter is just so good at everything, and everybody sees it. Obviously, you know they're doing all these tribes are competing together. They all see how well Hunter does every day. And you know, at least for now, he doesn't seem to be in danger. But I could see him being, once these tribes all merge, I could see people, especially from Siga and whoever is left from Yanu, saying like, we have to take Hunter out. That is not somebody that you want around, especially for the later stages of the immunity challenges, when it's individual immunity. And now you're trying to get him out finally, you know, when there's, you know, only a couple weeks left to do so because he's just managed to get to merge and then win his way to the end. Like that's someone you've got to get out right away, however you can, I think.
Yeah. So merge isn't this week, right? We at least have one more week before we get there.
Yeah, I didn't see anything about merge.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. I also don't know with Yano being down to 3 now, like
right. There could be a swap
or
something. But if there wasn't, let's just say there wasn't, and there's like just one more week of sit-outs and things. If Soda starts to pick up that she might be in some kind of danger, that people are starting to float her name around, Hunter is it for all the reasons you just listed, or is really a worthy target. And she could with the seeds she's already been planting, she could turn something.
Yeah.
Because who's so hard on Hunter's side either?
Right.
We haven't seen Hunter making these rounds. We just know that he's very capable in camp and he's close with Tevin. That doesn't quite get you to enough votes to stay. So that would actually really put, you know, Soda's social relationships to the test. Like, is he going to actually reap anything? Reap any crops?
Right. I almost feel like it's more beneficial for Hunter and Tevin if they don't have people thinking that they're working so close together. I think that Tevin and Hunter are automatically seen as like a really threatening and intimidating duo. Like,
right.
Tevin like is very good socially, like it seems pretty good physically too. Like Hunter, we haven't seen like the strategic social side as much, even though we're seeing that he's already been thinking about getting Soda out. So we have seen some of it, I guess. But like physically, I mean, when you team up Tevin and Hunter, like that duo seems unstoppable to me.
Oh, totally. But I do think that Tevin is actually reaping a little bit more from that than Hunter is, just in the way that the edit seems. Because, like you said, I don't see Hunter having the social relationships, which is why I think that Soda could potentially lead a charge against him. Where if Soda tried to flip it to Tevin, I don't think that would fly.
Yeah.
So
very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, and again, these are also some suppositories, you know, because we've actually never seen them put to the test, so we don't really know what anyone would do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's true. So we've talked a lot about Yanu. We've talked a good amount about Nami. It's funny to me how these, you know, how the season has gone for these tribes, because it feels like Yanu, it's always been just miserable, doom and gloom. every time you're going to, immunity challenge, you lose. Even when you win a reward challenge, you don't get the reward, like we said. Like, it's been so rough on Yanu. Then you've got Nami, that's like winning every immunity challenge, not just getting immunity, but coming in first place. Like, they're just killing it. And then you have Siga, who's kind of been middle of the road, but like still they haven't lost anybody, and they feel like almost like the group therapy tribe to me. Like, everybody's like always so positive with each other, which is nice to see, but like we haven't gotten a chance to see anybody really be like cutthroat,
right? Because they really haven't been tested at all,
right.
Because they also seem to kind of get along, where Nami has had a couple of ripples like here or there.
Right.
Siga is really just been smooth sailing. So like, it's going to be so interesting when they finally do go to a tribal, like, because
it's so fun. Like, I remember a couple of episodes ago, Ben being like, I love these people. I've connected so much with them. Like, these are like some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. I'm like, yeah, because you've won every challenge.
Right.
Like, you don't
never
know
had
what it
a
looks
problem.
like when people have to turn on each other. They're going to get nasty.
Right. Like, to get to and that's what's also that I will say that is sort of interesting about the 3 tribe concept here, because you wouldn't get that situation with 2 tribes. It's either one or the other. You do leave a room for interesting relationships here to kind of happen. It'll be interesting if all 6 make it to merge, then how maybe that shifts a little bit. Like, that could be interesting to watch, because these people basically have been on holiday.
Yeah.
They're eating and they're eating
They're at summer
enough.
camp.
They got the 5 fish. They had like the medium toolkit. Like, they're doing okay.
It's a summer camp.
Yeah, by Survivor standards, this is basically what we had when we paid good money to go to Boy Scout summer camp.
Yeah.
Like, they're there and they're getting a stipend, so they're having a good time. And they're not fighting. They're getting a stipend. Yeah, we paid for Camp Yagu. Okay.
Yagu.
Yeah, Camp Yagu. That's what we called it, but it was spelled Yawgoog. Camp Yagu.
Okay.
All right. There you go.
Listen, any of my other Boy Scouts out there, y'all know Yagu.
See, I'm deepest apologies. I was never a scout.
Well, you would have been a Girl Scout. You would not have gone to Camp.
No, but I wasn't a Girl Scout either. I just wasn't a scout.
I wasn't a scout either.
Yagu Scout Reservation, Rhode Island.
You looked it up?
Yeah, because like, I want to make sure it was as I remembered it, and it is. So when we do our post chat, we'll do a share screen. I'll educate y'all.
I can't wait.
What's up, Dan? Woo!
Dan. But yeah, so things have been pretty good for Siga lately.
Real good.
Like
playing
you said,
song trivia.
Right, song trivia. They've been doing a lot. They've been really getting along pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that we've seen, sort of strategy-wise, any cracks at all, has been, we've seen Tim concerned that maybe the women would all work together and try to, take out the men. We've seen the women form this Charlie's Angels sort of group. We have seen Maria and Charlie discuss working together, and kind of being able to pick which side they wanted to be on whenever the time, came to maybe choose a side. But maybe the most interesting thing that's been going on in their tribe is happening currently, because we do know that Jem found the Beware advantage for the Siga tribe. She took the box.
John couldn't wait to get to this. Yes.
No, she took the box.
She sure did.
She moved it, buried it somewhere else, and then she re-hid the Beware advantage scroll.
This is an awesome move, in my opinion.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
Maria finds it, refines this Beware advantage in the incorrect spot. They begin digging in that spot, and now it becomes a group effort. Mm-hmm. And of course, the box is not there, so they just keep digging and digging and digging. What do you guys think of this move?
I could not believe how far they continued to dig. When have you ever seen something that far hidden underground on Survivor? They were like in the roots of the tree.
You're so right. You're so right. But I would have been that person that did that, because it said dig underneath. I would keep digging and I'd be like, it can't. Is this the point where I give up? What if it was just a couple more scrapes down? Like, how do you ever stop? I'd be up all night because like I
Right.
would never be able to sleep thinking it just could have been 5 more digs.
How would you do with the ants that they were getting bitten by?
I would be very upset. I mean, that would be what would make me stop before the thought that like, oh, it shouldn't be this far down, if that makes sense. Like that would be the stop for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I think is interesting is so who ultimately found this? It was Maria that found the rewrapped Beware.
Maria found it. She was like with people, like because they were all kind of looking around. People were together so she found it and immediately like threw it, and people were right there to be like, "Oh my god, you just found that!" But yeah, it was Maria.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this one plays out because she could think when she now goes to vote that she doesn't have a vote.
Right. I was thinking about this the other day. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're gonna have conversations with people that are gonna want to keep you in, but you're gonna think that you have no agency in the conversation. Really, you're just like listening, and you're gonna. She could be in that Banu position, and then she get in there and realize she has a vote. That'll be fun.
What's interesting too, though, is that I believe she had an extra vote. So because she went on that first journey,
right? Do you get to use your extra vote if you didn't have a vote in the first place?
Well, but I mean, like, if she doesn't, if she had an extra vote, and then this Beware advantage causes her to lose a vote, she might be going in thinking she still has one left.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. As you continued, I was like, okay, I'm getting on board. I see where this is going. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see how that one plays out. Because then, what if then she? It depends on what the rules
logistics
are
of
there.
this are so interesting.
Yes, because if you have to have a vote in order to have an extra, because it's called an extra, it's not a vote. So extras denotes to me that you've got to have a vote in the first place.
Yeah, I don't remember if we've ever seen that like someone loses a vote, but they're like, I still have my extra vote, so it's fine. I don't remember if that's happened.
Is that a wash?
I can't remember.
And that dramatically changes how I feel about the situation. Because if she's still going in there with a vote, that's annoying. I don't want her to know she has
either 2 votes or no vote.
Right. Right. Huh.
I guess
or 1 vote. Right. Can you imagine if she goes in there and she realizes, wait, I have a regular vote because I never lost this and my extra.
Right.
Yeah. So 2. That is exciting. That could change a lot, especially when people don't think you have one.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah, because that means there's only 5 people. They think there's only 5 people voting. So it could be a 3-2. If you're on the 2 side and then you use the vote, an extra vote you didn't think you had, you totally flip the majority. That
could be so fun.
Absolutely thrilling. And then what if the majority voted on Jem and she played her idol that they didn't know she had?
You're wishful thinking a lot for American Survivor.
I know. What do I think I am, Australia?
Yeah, so much has to happen first too. Like
the stars really need to align perfectly for that moment.
Right.
Stika has to lose an immunity challenge for Jem to even have the chance to maybe find the idol, to then maybe get her vote back, and then maybe we'll see Maria do this. Like it's just like it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, sorry, it really took us down a rabbit hole there.
No.
But it's such a fun hypothetical.
Right, like it's fun. Yeah, it's fun to think about. It's just this game is so stupid right now that like all of this other stuff has to happen before we can maybe even see that exciting.
Find something exciting. Anything that's actually worth watching.
I am begging. Begging for the next season to just be bare bones Survivor. Yes. Just throw them on an island, put some idols somewhere, and let it happen.
Let your drone circle around. Let that just be that.
Yeah. You know what else is funny too? Because like, oh no, you have to get the box to actually see the spot that says like, if you lose a challenge, come back to this spot, right? Because I was gonna say, like, what does it say in the Beware Advantage scroll? Like, what if they lose and then Maria goes back to that spot, but she wouldn't know that she has to go back there yet because they never actually found.
Yeah, I think that's in the second part. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if anything, she would probably just look around that tree again.
Yeah. This game is so
anything.
dumb.
I still rather all of this than the broccoli chatter.
This is still better. Yeah, it's still better than the
definitely
broccoli
better.
and the butterflies.
Yeah,
and-
because at least we get to have these hypotheticals. The butterfly crap. I mean, it was like, all right, well, that happened. No one fessed up. We moved on. That wasn't.
And we did it for like 3 seasons. We were like, why is this still happening?
I still wish they could just take an idol, wrap it up, put it in a freaking
somewhere.
tree. Yeah, put it in a tree and let
Be
somebody
done.
find it.
Just be done. Yeah, stop playing all these games.
God,
the game is finding it.
Right.
That's it.
But okay. So yeah, so that's some interesting stuff going on at Sega. I'm excited to see how that all plays out, though. And something else that happened at Sega is that we learned that Mariah doesn't know how to jump. What'd you think about that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
This poor
We had
girl.
another coaching session on the Sega tribe. This one was a lot more. There was a lot more support, I think, that the person would achieve their goal than there was during Yanu's coaching sessions between Q and Banu. There was a lot more, positive vibes towards Mariah here.
I liked this jumping segment because the payoff in the challenge was so nice when she jumped off the thing and they were all like, ah! Like, and they were so excited that she did it. I was like, okay, this is like a nice setup for a nice resolution, like that there was it ended somewhere.
Okay. It was nice.
Yeah, I guess it gave a little bit more to why the screaming was a little bit amplified in that moment. But I'm gonna still log this under. I don't need this for my extra 90 minutes or the extra 30 minutes I'm getting in 90 because this is just who cares.
This one was cute though, at least.
I guess, but who cares? How do you not know how to jump? What is that? I'm a big man. I can still do a running leap. You've never had to leap over a puddle? I don't want to. It's just pathetic.
We'll hop.
Ugh.
There was a point where Charlie was holding out that branch, and Mariah would stand there and run and jump to hit it. And every time she was attempting an actual jump, she would barely leave the ground.
Uh-huh.
But then once she would practice hitting the branch and everyone would be like, great job, she'd start skipping back, and she was jumping higher. She was jumping higher during her celebrations than when she was actually attempting to practice a jump.
I did notice that.
And I was like,
funny.
I was like, if you just push
It's a
your
mental
body
block.
up into the air, yeah, you'll be fine. Stop overthinking it.
It's a mental block. It was so cute because she would almost do it worse the next time, and you still see him being there no, that was better. That was better. You're getting so much better. And it was somehow she's regressing, but it's fine. I appreciate your support.
What am I watching? What is this? I thought
I
this was
thought it was
Survivor.
cute. I liked it. I like this one. Okay.
Kyle says thumbs down. But yes, all that practice didn't really matter, actually, because what everyone was anticipating was a sort of immunity challenge where you'd have to jump from a platform, and you'd have to jump far enough and high enough to grab a key or something like that, which we've seen those types of challenges plenty of times. Luckily, this one was literally all they would have to do was climb up a couple different platforms and jump off the side of it and swim eventually to the end of the obstacle. So all that practice didn't really matter much. But yeah, in this immunity challenge, we had the same results as always. Like I said, this result, this whole thing was pretty much just climbing up some different platforms, jumping off of them, collecting some buoys, and then having to land 3 buoys in some baskets at the end. Nami came in first, had immunity. Sega came in second, got immunity, but really just by a hair, because Yanu, as much as they did struggle, when the whole thing with Banu screwing up in the middle of the whole challenge and stuff, and having to go back and jump over those crates and everything, Q was 1 ball behind. He did have a chance to make a winning shot, and the ball hit that 3rd platform with the basket on it, but he came up short. So if he had gotten another shot, we might have seen.
But again, I still blame Banu, because the reason why he didn't get another shot was because Banu took so freaking long retrieving it.
Right.
They could have done it.
took too long to retrieve that, and he also did that jumping thing off the crate wrong. Like every delay that was major was on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
But again, you saw them like gearing up, like as like the other tribe was like getting ready to like make the shots or whatever. I don't remember who it was that said it, but somebody was like, if Hunter gets to the point where he can shoot, it's over. Like, come on, pick it up.
Yeah. Hunter's just so good at everything.
He's so good. I love him.
And yeah, so following that immunity challenge, I think we spoke about it enough already. We had another Yanu tribal council. This was honestly Banu's best performance in a tribal council, though. I thought he spoke well for himself, and I will say, like, Banu does seem like a decent guy. He's got a really compelling story with, you know, how he came up and like kind of explaining that, like, you know, his life at camp in this game was not that different from his life, you know. Dan says a Hunter and Gina showmance, maybe. Is Hunter Gina's Jake on this season? She wants to give him a kiss.
I've already said it.
There you go. But yeah, Banu's story I thought was really, really nice to hear. I'm glad he got to share it, you know, before he did leave. And it felt like as much as he begged and cried towards the end, he did seem to like come to terms with his exit at the end. But yeah, it was a rough go for Banu. Mm-hmm. It was a rough go. But he said his goal was always not to win $1 million. It was to win 1 million hearts. You think he achieved that goal?
Well, if Kyle's tweets have anything to say about it.
Yeah, he didn't win my heart. That's for sure.
Okay. So maybe 1 million, but if he got 1 million, Kyle is not one of those hearts.
Right.
Like, if Banu has one fan.
Yeah.
If Banu has 1,000 haters, I'm one of them. If Banu has one hater, it is me. If Banu has no haters, I am dead.
I am dead. Oh man. Well, I'll say I gotta say, he didn't really win my heart either, actually. In this very episode, I tweeted, man, I'm really tired of Banu. So
yeah.
Sorry, man.
I've never been so chill about losing a person.
I mean, like I said, like the fan base was clearly endeared towards him. There were people pissed that he got voted off. I just wasn't.
Please, not all. See you later. At least he was like my last Team Petty pick.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah. So that was I think pretty much everything I had for this episode. Anybody have anything else for episode 4 that you'd like to share?
Not really for episode 4. I mean, just a general thought. I have to play devil's advocate with myself here, and I will say the big minus to losing Banu on Team Petty is that he did add a lot of my points to my team.
He did.
Yes, because he cried a lot. He had a lot of confessionals, and by Mikey's rubric, I did make a lot of points off it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how I stack up now, because he was definitely my MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Like if he had survived in this, so like we said, you took your first hit this week with Banu, but if you look, so Mikey was nice enough to send us the these charts and everything.
Stats.
And if you look at this, Banu, he had -6, so he did have the highest total negative, but that's mostly because he got voted out. Because I was noticing in the point charts that how the whole system works that Mikey sent, you lose I think 3 points for being like voted out without having a vote. Like you get voted out, you get a negative points for getting voted out at all. Like so, like he took 2 big hits by like being voted out in the first place and then being voted out without having a vote himself.
Right.
Like that was really bad. But like look at how much, like if he hadn't gotten voted out, he would have been the highest point getter, and that's because of how much he cried in this episode.
But so
and the confessionals.
Exactly.
Technically, was he voted out? Could Kyle make some more points back there?
I think
No,
I think he
I think
was
one can imply
right
that is
because
the way it was going.
right. Like they
I'll
all
sleep on that. Maybe I can form an argument around it, but
Because I don't technically, they just
no, but
assumed he would be voted out, so they said, "Okay, bye."
right.
right.
And if we go by
But
our prior logic, like you don't know if somebody had a strategic plan in place because the vote was essentially canceled. So should my point reduction.
I think you can. I think there's a point of
Uh-oh,
contention there with
uh-oh.
Mikey.
We'll have to revisit this during the
yeah,
week.
I think you can make a
we'll have
refund.
to ask. I still think it counts though because I mean they all stated that they were definitely voting him out, and when Jeff snuffed his torch, they said like the tribe has spoken, like the tribe chose to do this. So I think it's
So
still
John
counts.
is not in favor of a point reduction cancellation.
It's
I'm
worth a
not.
shot. That's all I'm
I'm
saying.
not.
There's an argument to be made.
Yeah, but Dad said no.
Why is he dad?
This is his stream. Like I have no say.
Listen,
It's not my
all
house.
I'm saying is let's look at these season totals. All right, all I'm saying is Kyle doesn't need any more help. We've had 4 episodes, and Kyle's gotten the most points in 3 of them.
And I'm still
Okay?
backing him up. So what about that?
Right, and I also could plummet really fast. I gotta hold on to what I got.
That's just because Gina's in second, so she's feeling pretty good. Like she's like, oh,
Yeah, you know what? And to go by that logic, Mikey's not reversing anything at a measly 71.
71 points. Yeah.
If you double his score, he's still below the lowest next person, like the next lowest.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, he's not reversing anything. So,
but I mean, at least you guys took another win. You and Mikey took another win in the team battle, the battle of the unwanted draft picks.
It's so mean. It's so not nice.
Listen, I'm just being very literal. You know, nobody picked them. No, we had 4 people do a draft. You know,
for what it's worth,
16 people were picked, and Ben and Liz weren't one.
Listen, let me tell you something. For what it's worth, if there was enough people to do another round, Liz was my next choice. Like, I will give her that.
And I will stand by. We made a mistake with Ben. Someone should have grabbed him. Hindsight's 2020. He's doing pretty good.
I think he is doing pretty good.
That's what we think. Nothing's been tested. I feel like it's so hard to say that anyone's doing well, honestly, other than Jem, because we know that she is at least on track to maybe finding this idol. And I like how she thinks based on how she kind of created this chaos around the Beware advantage. But other than that, I mean, how can you really say there's any standout? I feel like maybe Maria, but again, hasn't been tested. So like, you don't really
there are a couple of like physical competitor standouts, but like we haven't really seen enough from anybody that's not on Yanu.
Right. So
yeah, I'm curious. We'll see what happens. Like, so all we really got in the next on portion of the episode was we saw Tim trying to figure out who might have planted this Beware advantage, who might have found it first and then replanted it. And then we saw the Nami tribe all out trying to find their idol / Beware advantage, because we know that Randon had it before. It left the game, as far as we know, with him, unless we happen to see some moment in a flashback where he like passed it off to Venus or something before Jeff came and got him. But I don't know if that would even work that way. Like, So, but we see them out looking for their idol or advantage, and then we see the Sega tribe trying to figure out what the hell is going on with their Beware advantage and why they can't find it. And we do see Tim specifically questioning Jem, so we'll have to see if she is able to pull off her performance, her acting performance here. But interestingly, we didn't see anything from Yanu on the next on. So I wonder what that means. Does that mean they're going to be getting shuffled around and just sent to the other tribes? Or
I mean, I feel like once we're down to 3, there has to be a swap, right?
I mean, at this point, we're at 6-5-3.
I don't think we've ever seen a tribe get lower than 3.
It's going to be really annoying to see Sega have to sit out 3 tribe members, half of their tribe at the next challenge, if they don't do something with Yanu. So
right.
I don't know.
I feel I from my memory, once we get down to 3 is when they'll do a tribe swap, because I don't like Otherwise, voting is very
right.
boring.
And that, at least then you could have 2 teams of 6.
Yeah.
Except I'm sure it wouldn't be that. I'm sure that it would end up being 7-5 because this show's stupid.
But all right. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And that's all, by the way, just talking about these advantages and how Siga and Nami are still working on them. Like the fact that like it's funny that Yanu's had the most struggles, but Tiffany's the only one in the game with an idol right now. And it's kind of annoying to me that we are 9 days in, so we're like more than a third through this game, and there's only one idol in play right now. You know, like I don't know. It's just kind of like. There's more people have lost their votes than idols have been found, you know. Like,
but again, it's because we went to 2 journeys and both of them came up empty because the puzzle was too hard.
Yeah.
So like there should be more advantages, but like I don't know.
And I don't know that I would love that either.
Right. Just let them go on an island and
play journeys.
Play hide and seek for an idol and play the game bare bones and call it a day. I don't need all these advantages.
I would much rather like a reward competition each and every episode than a journey.
Yes.
And you'd have time for it if you would stop that.
I
agree.
But I feel like we bang this drum at the end of every stream, so
we do because it's annoying.
But all right. So, is there anything else that anybody has that they'd like to say about Survivor 46 or anything else, or anything?
I think that's it.
No, I feel satisfied. We missed Mikey, but it was a fun night.
Yeah. Hopefully he's having a good time wherever he is, whatever time zone he's in. And what do we have coming up? It's a bit of a lighter week for us than we've been having lately, because we have just one more stream this week, right? That'll be on Thursday. And for that one, we will be discussing the latest week in the Big Brother Canada house, Big Brother Canada Season 12. We were very excited. And much like Survivor 46, we are somewhat underwhelmed with the cast.
Well, I don't know.
It's brand new. It's only like week 3.
I know, but did you watch yesterday?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, we got some good DRs.
Okay.
All right. So maybe
if I go home on Vivex, HOH.
Oh, that I did see. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys are the target audience for this. She gives me such big Gabby Hanna energy, and I don't know if either of you know who that is, but literally, she screams Gabby Hanna to me.
I don't know Miss Hanna.
I feel like I know that name, but I can't picture the person right now.
This is really looking good, and I did see a clip of the digital dilly dally, so I already know who won veto and what happened. And this is gonna be a fire week. This backdoor is.
I love a backdoor. Okay.
I mean, I don't know. We'll talk off stage. I don't know if you're gonna like who the backdoor happened to.
No.
But I'm telling you, they literally showed the moments after. So like, you know how the lights
come on, dilly dally, good job.
Yes, the lights went up, and then it was a full 2 minutes of the awkward silence. The backdoored person,
I love that,
would not get up. They're like, "You want to do hugs?" They were like, "No." And so everybody went up to them and was just like, "Love you, love you." It was so awkward. And then well, I already said Vivek won HOH, so sorry if that's a spoiler. But, Vivek was just like, "Do you want to talk?" And they were like, "All right." And I was like, "Oh my God," like to be a fly on the wall, like for that conversation. So catch me in the digital dilly dallies this week.
Hell yeah!
All right.
Yeah, I gotta say this is
a glowing endorsement from one Kyle
Mm-hmm.
Petty.
So
that's good. Hey, listen, that's good to hear.
Yep.
That's good to hear. All right,
hang out with us on Thursday at 9:00. We'll be doing
9 p.m. Eastern time. You heard it here first from Kyle. It's a fire week, which means it's going to be a fire. It's going to be a fire stream.
It is.
All right, so that's what we have going on the rest of this week, and of course, next Monday we'll be back talking more Survivor 46. That'll be episode 5. Yeah, and you can find us on the socials at Strat Chat Pod. We are out there on all social media platforms, so find us, throw us a like, a comment, a subscription, a follow, all that stuff. If you listen to us audio only, or if you watch us here, primarily, you could still go over to places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and leave us like a really nice review, because like we feel like we're nice people that would, like to have nice things. So it's very helpful and we'd like it. So go over there and do it. All right. That's all I got. So thank both of you. It's been a very fun night as always. Thanks everybody for hanging out. All right.
Lido.